One of the articles I read over the summer was called Behavioral Transition from Attack to Parenting in Male Mice, a Crucial Role of the Vomeronasal System. So why do we care, and what is the larger question here? Parental behavior is very important when it comes to the survival of the young. It's important to study and observe the neural mechanisms underlying parental behavior in mammals so we can hopefully get a better understanding of similar social behaviors in humans or any illnesses associated with parenting. The specific question that the lab is asking is, what neural circuits are involved during the transition from attack to parenting in male mice? Firstly, adult male mice are not spontaneous fathers. Male mice that are sexually naive or have no experience with mating are very aggressive towards pups, and their aggression sometimes leads to infanticides, which is the killing of mice pups in this case. On the other hand, male mice who do have experience and are fathers are very caring towards pups, and their care is basically identical to the care that mothers give. So in this study, the researchers wanted to see which neural circuits in the brain of mice are responsible for this drastic transition from attack to parenting in male mice. Furthermore, one important thing is that with more experience that the virgin male gains, like social interaction or cohabitation with female and pups, whether or not it's the virgin male's own children, it will develop characteristics of proper parental behavior towards them, meaning that a biological relationship isn't required for this transition to happen. The reason why virgin males attack and try to kill pups has been said to be that it is a show of dominance and reproductive success because they were able to kill the children of a female's mate, so now they are the superior male. As I just said before, males who are sexually naive act more aggressive towards pups than fathers do, which made the researchers hypothesize that there are probably different neural circuits involved in fathers than in virgin males when they are exposed to pups because of that difference in response. To further examine and understand the neural circuits that cause this transition, the researchers examined the different brain regions that were activated in both fathers and virgin males after pup exposure using levels of CFOS expression, which in this case is a protein used as a marker for neural activity. They also conducted many tests, for example, the pup retrieval assay, where different responses towards pups from different male mice were examined. The responses were grouped into 4 categories: parenting, partial parenting, non-parenting, and attack. Males with different levels of experience with females and pups were tested. For example, there were virgin males, fathers who spent time with females and pups, and males who have mated and spent different amounts of time with pregnant females. Next, they specifically tested how virgin males would behave in the presence of pups by placing them in a cage together, although the pups would be protected by wire mesh balls in case of attack. Lastly, the scientists removed the vomeronasal organ, or the VNO, in sexually naive mice, and I will explain why they specifically choose the VNO in the next few slides. In the area of the brain that was highly active in virgin males and the area that had most differences in CFOS expression among virgin males and fathers was the vomeronasal organ, which is a major sensory system that detects chemosignals. As you can see by the 2 panels labeled A and C, which is a cross-section of the VNO before and after exposure to pups in sexually naive mice, there is a very high concentration of black dots, which represent CFOS expression. On the other hand, fathers didn't really show any difference in CFOS expression after pup exposure, which you can see from panels D and B. If any difference, it's very negligible. This graph basically summarizes the results of the pup retrieval assay. So, as shown by the legend, the behaviors are color-coded. The main ones, ATK, stand for attack, and PAR stands for parenting, and then the others are like in between those. On the bottom, there's this checklist that notes whether or not the sample of mice had been mated or is sexually naive, etc. The bar on the far left has the biggest proportion of attacking behavior, which is the dark color, represents male mice with no experience, and the bar on the far right, which has mostly parental behavior and no attacking behavior, represents fathers. As for the pup exposure test specifically for virgin males, 81% of the virgin males displayed aggression. In the experiment in which they surgically removed the VNO, they found out that the aggression has been completely suppressed, and at the same time, there was parental behavior in place of that aggression. So removing the organ resulted in behavior similar to that of fathers, in addition to the suppression of aggression. From these results, the researchers deduced that the vomeronasal organ is responsible for pup-directed aggression in sexually naive male mice, and that in order for the behavioral transition to happen, the neuronal activity in the VNO must be suppressed. As for the next steps, the researchers predicted that the pups give off two distinct types of cues that are received differently in fathers and virgin males. They predicted that there are aversive cues and pleasant cues. In virgins, the aversive cues dominate because of vomeronasal activation, while in fathers, the aversive cues are suppressed because their VNO activity is suppressed. The virgin males, once they come across a pup, these pheromones allow them to recognize their surroundings and notice that there is a pup in front of them. As for what suppresses vomeronasal activity in fathers, they predicted that it's most likely due to an engram from social experience with females and pups. And an engram is basically a change in the brain due to a new memory. Also, for clarification, it's not that the pheromones deliberately put a target on the pup, because no animal would naturally give off cues that say, hey, attack me. So once the virgin male recognizes that there's a pup in front of them, they get this influx of aversive cues that make them uncomfortable and tell them to attack in order to increase their reproductive success. On the other hand, the fathers, or the experienced males, get the pleasant cues that tell them to take care of the pup. Those are basically what the researchers have predicted, and they have been tested in like other studies, but that's like a whole other presentation. But if you're interested, you can always email me and we can talk about it. That basically wraps this up. If you've come this far, thank you so much for watching my presentation.